Hey everyone, Mr. G here from Bishop Curtin High School in Nashua, New Hampshire. We're really excited to share this video with you. It's a compilation of question and answers from our faculty, staff, students, parents, people just talking about their experiences over the last few weeks with regards to BG, our transition to online learning, and just their experience with the BG virtual community. So we're really looking forward to sharing it with you, and we hope to see you soon. We all know how great the relationships are here between the faculty and students. So how responsive have the faculty and staff been to your needs as students?
The faculty and staff have been absolutely fantastic. Not only have they helped us inside the classroom with transitioning to online learning, but they've also helped us with making sure that any extracurriculars that we have are able to meet if they can, and also providing extra experiences for ones that cannot. Along with that, they've also helped us to make sure we understand what the plan is going into the end of the year, and they have just been absolutely fantastic from a student perspective on the adjustment to this virtual learning.
Far from me, they've been really amazing in being flexible and accommodating to everyone during this pandemic. And they've also been checking in a lot of their students every day, asking like, how are you guys doing? And how can I help you guys out? Like if you need anything else different, just tell me and I'll try and fix the best I can. So they're really making sure that the well-being of their students are okay before making sure that they're okay school-wise, which I think is a really good priority to have.
BG, in my opinion, has been the most responsive and aware of students while going through this transition into online schooling. I don't think anywhere else in the state of New Hampshire has done it as well as us. We only missed one day of school, and all of the teachers have been extremely accommodating and are just really there for your well-being as well as your learning and the learning environment.
And the BG staff has been really good at letting you know like everything that's going on, so there's no surprises, and I just really love everything about it.
I think they're doing a fantastic job at interacting with us and adjusting to the online platform.
The faculty and staff play a huge role in the BG community. Not only do they care about us academically, but they care about each and every one of us on a personal level. They were all put in a really tough position to completely change the way they teach and operate. Many would see this as an obstacle, but they saw it as an opportunity to rise above the challenge. Because of this and their great work, we all know that we are in this together and that we can overcome anything.
So what has been your aha moment during all of this?
My aha moment was probably watching the Mr. BG show this weekend, seeing some of my classmates again performing and seeing the attendance and the comments during the show. Reminded me that BG is still the same community as it's always been.
I think my aha moment was definitely seeing all my uniforms hung up and knowing that I'm not going to be able to wear them until next year, because it made me realize how much I took just being able to go to school every day for granted. But it also made me realize how lucky we are that we can continue with online learning even if we can't be in school.
I'd have to say my aha moment came quite recently during our school-wide viewing of the Mr. BG pageant online. I've come to realize that even though my peers and I have to stay separate during this time due to self-isolation protocols, that there are creative options to get together with them online. And I feel the BG community as a whole is really striving to promote positivity and find those creative solutions during these uncertain times.
My aha moment during all of this would probably be how much I appreciate school. Being away from school has made me realize that I really do miss it, and I take it for granted, and that it's a great thing. I get to see my friends every day, and now I don't, so I take that for granted.
So as students that are usually really involved in the day-to-day here at BG, how have you appreciated the consistency and normalcy of remote learning?
To be honest with you, I feel like the first week of online classes was obviously a little different than actually being in a classroom. But now that I've done this for, I think it's been about a month now, I feel like I'm in a classroom right now, although it's a little different there are less distractions in the classroom and teachers can get a lot more done, but it just really feels normal. It feels like I'm in a classroom, like I've stated, and it feels like I can do the things that I normally do on a day at BG.
Hello, my name is Olivia Valdez. I'm a junior at BG, and I'm here to talk a little bit about how BG has handled the whole quarantine situation, which I think they've done an amazing job with. First off, Mr. Strinesty has been doing an amazing job of keeping the COVID-19 page updated, constant updates, constant messages being sent out to keep us calm and collected. I know my family has greatly appreciated it.
For me, I've appreciated the chance to see my teachers and friends every day and still have a generally consistent schedule even though it's online classes.
I've kind of liked still having an obligation and something to do every day with classes and homework and things like that. It's been something to kind of think about and engage my brain with.
So I know we've been talking a lot about the community here at BG, but I want to learn a little bit more about you. So name at least one thing that you didn't know about yourself before you started remote learning.
One of the biggest things I've definitely learned about myself with this whole online learning experience has definitely been that I thrive off of a schedule. I really like getting up in the morning, having my classes so then I can then maybe work out in the afternoon, get a little homework done, then take some time for myself. It definitely helps that Bishop Girton has me getting up early still and is still making me feel like I am getting my school experience in.
Before online learning, I did not know how independent I could be. Remote learning has required me to take ownership of my education and to seek the help that I need. With face-to-face learning no longer being an option, it has required each and every student to be more proactive and take charge of their education. Also, remote learning has allowed me to help out more at home and spend more time with my family.
BG. One thing I've learned about myself since all of this started is I can switch very easily from a face-to-face learning environment to an online learning environment. And I think that has to really it ties right into how responsive the BG faculty and staff are. I mean, the teachers are there with you every step of the way.
During this quarantine, we've learned to appreciate everything we have while we still have it.
The reason is because we watched the seniors get their year kind of taken away, so now we're going to try to live our life to the fullest.
Something I've learned about myself since being in quarantine has definitely been the fact of how much I underappreciated and took for granted physically going to school and physically going to BG every day, because I used to complain so much, I have to go to school, I have to wake up early, I have to do this. But like I would do anything in the world to just go to school again and to see my friends and see all the teachers again.
So students, what do you appreciate more now about BG that you might have taken for granted before?
I would say that I miss seeing my friends every single day. And what would you say?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely miss the BG community overall. The teachers, staff, Oscar every day at lunch, and especially my friends.
Yeah.
So that's us.
Stay healthy.
So I took for granted being able to see my friends whenever I want to at school, because every morning me and a bunch of my friends would eat breakfast together in the cafeteria and walk from our cars into the school, or like go to Dunkin's in the morning together. And so like I really miss those times, or jamming out to music in the car after school in the parking lots. Like I miss that so much, and I'd give anything to do it.
I appreciate how dedicated BG is to all its students to try to create the perfect experience for them and make sure that they are doing all they can to ensure students have a great year.
I cannot believe I am saying this. Many of you may even think I'm crazy, but I really would prefer to be in school. At least then I would be able to see my friends, have lunch with other people, and make memories that will last a lifetime.
Is definitely just being there. Like being there with your friends, with teachers, just the atmosphere itself. That's definitely something I appreciate more.
I think I took for granted all the assemblies and the events that happened at BG. You know, I'm a part of campus ministry, student ambassador, and backstage for the play. And I think that I realize now more than ever how fun it was to set up for those events with my friends and to read at the masses and to prepare for the play.
Question. What do you miss most about BG?
Definitely PE class, because
our class never got the chance to go outside, the feeling of leaving my house, and walking into school in the morning and being able to talk to my friends.
I miss doing scavenger hunts in math class, and I miss the competition in my French class on the Kahoot games.
What I miss most every day is just going to school and seeing all my classmates and just making awesome memories with them and seeing all my teachers who love their job and just make being at BG so much more enjoyable.
What I miss the most about not going to BG every day physically is definitely seeing all my friends and classmates in the halls and even in the classes, and seeing all the teachers and having my little conversations after school and before school with some of my teachers and homeroom. And definitely 100%, I wholeheartedly mostly miss Oscar and just him saying to have a good day and being in the lunchroom and just saying happy birthday.
Just seeing the brothers too, like the brothers are my homies and I miss them so much. And of course,
So we've heard from a lot of people about what they miss most here at BG. The faculty, the staff, the community in general. So with managing schoolwork and family time, how have you stayed connected with your friends?
I stay connected to my friends through video games.
I stay connected to my friends usually through FaceTime, as a group FaceTime or Snapchat and text messages.
Some of the ways that I try to stay connected with my friends is we try to FaceTime each other or do Zoom calls every week. I also try to write letters to my friends and just like talk about stories about high school or just stuff that's been happening throughout the week.
So my friends and I will have a couple Zoom meetings after school every few days. And I think it was the first week, it was my friend's birthday. So we actually threw him a surprise party on Zoom. So that was a lot of fun. A lot of the clubs have also been keeping in touch with each other and having meetings after school. So that's another way that I keep in touch with my friends and have fun and just hang out and talk.
I'm very grateful that we have technology that allows us to see and communicate with friends and family. My friends and I use Zoom to talk to each other every day, and we use Netflix parties so we can all watch the same movie at the same time.
So we've heard from the students about what they miss most about BG. So I turn it to you, faculty and staff. What do you miss most about BG?
What do I miss most? I miss a lot of things. I miss the routine of the day-to-day. I miss seeing people in the building. I miss conversations with the kids. It's not the same through the video conferencing, as comprehensive as it is and as well designed as these platforms have been for us. It's just not the same to not be in the building.
Is definitely seeing the students on a day-to-day basis. I know I can see the students on Google Meet or Zoom, which is lots of fun. I like to see you that way, but it's not the same as seeing you in person and seeing you one-on-one or in class settings or in groups. I love to be able to spend time with the students, talk about their day, set up their schedule, meet with them. So it's been really difficult not being able to have that one-on-one interaction with the students.
Hi, I'm Molly Pinsino. I'm the campus minister. What I miss the most is seeing students as they stop in throughout the day and hearing about their lives and how they're doing.
What I miss the most about BG is so hard to put into words because it's more a feeling than anything. I think anyone who knows what I'm talking about just knows the feeling, and it's hard for them to put into words as well.
You asked me what I miss most about BG, and I decided to show you.
I miss Mr. G.
I miss the day-to-day interactions, the conversations. You know, as a principal and a school administrator, a lot of my work is to walk around the school and to get a feel for how things are going, to talk to students and teachers. And those interactions are very hard to come by during the coronavirus when we're working remotely. That you only have a conversation when there's a purpose to it and you're seeking a person out for it, or you're in a class, so there's a task to be done. And so those informal conversations are definitely something we miss, and we look forward to the day when we can have them again. This process has made us stronger, but we know that without each other, and we know that without being in personal contact, our community will never be living out to its full potential. So we're excited to be back, and we do miss those day-to-day interactions and the energy and the spirit and the community that we feel when everybody's here in the building.
So we all know our students work really hard to be successful here at BG, inside and outside of the classroom, but what has surprised you most about the students during this time?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a surprise, but I have been extremely proud of and impressed by how my students have responded to this situation. They're working with dedication, they're acting with grace and maturity, and they are handling this so well. And it just makes me really proud to be their teacher.
Quite frankly, is their flexibility in this and being able to accommodate this new virtual world that we're in right now. Now, of course, these kids are used to this. Our students are pretty savvy when it comes to technology.
For the kids that are home with their parents, have a lot of siblings that are trying their best to stay focused every day, I think they've been doing a really, really great job.
I think the thing that surprised me the most about students relative to our remote learning process is how easily they've been able to treat it just like it's been a normal class. That's given all the different things that have been occurring right now and the stresses that are on them. I really think that's an impressive thing that they've been able to accomplish.
I wouldn't say the students have surprised me, but what they really have shown is how mature and level-headed they are as people. I have freshmen all the way through seniors, and in one capacity or the other, they have adapted to this way of learning and this way of life in ways that are remarkable. And their attitude during this difficult time is really just a testament to what great individuals and people we have as students at BG.
So we just heard some great feedback from our faculty and staff about what has surprised them the most about our students. So similar question, what has impressed you most about our students here at BG during this time?
Great question, Mr. G. How have our students impressed me during this remote learning period? Well, let me tell you. I'm going to give you a few words to express what they've done during this time period, what they continue to do. Because let me tell you, Mr. G, they so impress me every single day, especially now during this difficult time. I'll give you some words. First one, G, for growth. Okay, they're experiencing such great personal growth here. Okay, how about S for synergy? They are working together. They're collaborating like they've never done before. Okay, I, initiative. They are getting things done, often without being asked. It's incredible. T, teamwork. Okay, just like synergy, they're working together. Okay, they're being cohesive. They might be isolated, they might be separate from each other, but they're still working and acting like a team. C, they are committed to their craft. They're committed to learning. They're committed to their own personal growth. D, dedication. Okay, as you can see, Mr. G, BG Music is not canceled. BG Music can, and they will. A performance coming soon.
One of the things that not so much surprises me about the BG students during this time, but impresses me, is their level of empathy. They have been so patient and understanding of us as teachers as we struggle to create interesting lesson plans without interpersonal interaction. They have been eager to get into their Zoom groups, to get into their breakout groups, to just be with each other and work and interact and talk. And they have been, in my experience, very supportive of each other as well as of us as teachers.
I have to say that each day, every class, I am continually impressed with how kind and thoughtful our students are towards each other and towards me. Whether it's letting me know that somebody's having trouble getting into a Zoom room, or somebody's internet is slow and a student may be late to class, or whether it's helping me with technology or helping each other with technology, it's been really impressive.
There's something to be said about how hard our students work here at BG on a day-to-day basis. So my question is, has that translated to the remote learning platform, and have your students stayed engaged?
We've seen tremendous student engagement over the course of this situation. Our whole community knows that by doing what we're doing and making the sacrifices that we're making, we are saving lives. Nobody's complained, and the students have really embraced opportunities to make the most of it.
I would say they are most definitely highly engaged, much more so than I ever anticipated. They are actively asking questions in class. They are on top of all of their work. And the most surprising thing to me has been that our advisory students have really stepped up the game and become engaged in some virtual activities in order to maintain the energy that was in our advisory prior to this.
I have been amazed at how well students have been engaged in the classroom. It's not actually too surprising. BG teachers and students spent a really good portion of their years trying really hard to make connections with one another and learn how to trust each other in the classroom experience. So when the time came to transition over to remote learning, I think it was a little bit easier for us than for most other schools because our students and teachers work really hard on working together and supporting one another. And so that naturally extended itself over into the virtual learning experience.
So we all know this has been a big adjustment moving to an online platform. So teachers, what is your experience with remote learning and the platforms we're using here at BG?
And I've been having a great experience with the remote learning because I can see all their faces at the same time and I don't have to necessarily look away very often. If I was in a classroom, I'd have to turn around and write on the board, or if I was talking to one corner of the class, I wouldn't be able to see necessarily what's going on in another corner of the class. Now, in this remote learning, I'm having a great experience with the learning platform because I can see all the students' faces at the same time. All my notes, my PowerPoints, my worksheets are all right in front of me. I share my screen fairly often with the students so they can follow along with me.
I think it was great that Bishop Girton opened up for faculty and staff the Friday after we closed so that we could learn more about the options available to us. We talked about Google Meet and Zoom and the different ways that we'd be able to interact with students, the different ways we'd be able to assign work and accept work. It was excellent, and that kind of interaction continued with between faculty members throughout.
In times like these, we really rely on the community staying together, as we've heard from our teachers and students so far. So in your experience, how responsive have the faculty and staff been here at BG over the last month or so?
The BG staff and faculty have been amazing during this whole transitioning to online learning. They were one of the first schools to do so without even a blip in the whole process. And I love that the teachers reach out to the students every day, even during class, just to ask them how they're doing, being quarantined at home with their family. And Mr. Strinisty also set up a student task force to get their feedback on what's working and what's not working in the whole online learning process. And I think one of the greatest things that the faculty and staff have done are transition some of the social activities to online so that the kids don't totally miss out. The best example I could think of is the Mr. BG pageant. That was a lot of fun to watch. We watched it as a family having dinner and we got a lot of laughs, and it was just a great way to get some BG spirit in other than regular classwork. So thank you to all of you. We love you.
Now, since our lives have changed so much over the last few weeks, I wanted to turn the question to you, parents. What has been your aha moment throughout this entire experience?
Andy O'Hara here. I wanted to check in with my BG aha moments about what I've experienced watching this remote learning happen from our house. We're so impressed. Kim and I are both so impressed with what we've seen and heard. Just the level of concern and commitment that was really flowing both ways, from the teacher and the staff to the kids and vice versa. I finished one of my Zoom calls a couple weeks ago. I came downstairs, my junior Avery was about to start hers, and right before the teacher was going to get into the curriculum, she stepped back and said, "How's everyone feeling, guys? Let's use this forum. Safe harbor. How's everyone doing? How's everyone's family doing? Is there anything that we can do for you?" And it was genuine, I can tell you that. And the kids answered. The kids even asked about her as the teacher. Is there anything that they could do for her? And then right when she was about to transition into the curriculum, her big dog walked by, and it was funny, and everyone had a smile and a laugh, and it kind of humanized the situation, let the kids know that they're not the only ones going through something. Teachers are having, real life issues happen, And that was pretty cool. At the end of the class, I noticed also something subtle that only parents would recognize. When she signed off and said, "Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Enjoy your next class." Kids just didn't hang up. They all said, "Thank you," and it was genuine. "Thank you." All I heard was, "Thank you, Mrs. So-and-so. Thank you, thank you, thank you." And I just remember talking to my wife that night. I'm like, wow, this truly is a special place with special people. So
we've had some great thoughts from students on the consistency and normalcy here at BG. So you as parents, same question. How have you appreciated the consistency and normalcy at BG?
My quick answer is we're in a time when it's not normal, but here at the house, school still is challenging. I'm getting feedback from my daughter about how there's still a bunch of homework. So to me, I really haven't seen a change. So the consistency's been the same. And as far as it being like normal, the amount of time spent, the amount of, dedication and how much work is being put in is the same. So extraordinarily happy with that huge effort that the school's put forward. And I really haven't seen too many glitches. So very, very grateful and want to say thank you. Krista?
I think during this time for me, BG's done what they've always done, and that's make our children feel known, valued, and treasured. This has been a really seamless experience, and the teachers' dedication has gone above and beyond. And I know that our kids feel just as supported at home as they do if they're in school. I think the other thing is the outreach and their attempt at normalcy in trying to make the kids feel engaged with extracurricular activities has been amazing. So thank you, BG.
Yeah, thank you for keeping the standard high. Go BG.
Hi, my name is Stacy Theophilopoulos, and I have a current senior, class of 2020, at Bishop Girton High School. I also have an incoming freshman for the class of 2024. I'm not going to lie to you. I will tell you that at first, we were a little nervous and skeptical in regards to online learning. However, after 7 weeks, I can tell you that Bishop Girton has given us normalcy and consistency during this very difficult time. Our daughter is able to log on every morning, attend advisory. She's able to have a set schedule, which is so important, and she's able to learn.
Our family has particularly appreciated the consistency and normalcy provided by Bishop Girton during this pandemic crisis. It is reassuring that our children have class every day and that they're able to interact with their teachers and their classmates real time. Also, our entire family appreciates that BG's weekly routine helps us to remember what day of the week it is.
Thank you again for taking the time to watch our video. We had a lot of fun putting it together. Wanted to wrap up with just a special message from our president, Mrs. Linda Broder.
Thank you, Mr. Giarrusso. I'm happy to talk about why BG is such a special community. In some ways, that question is challenging for me because Bishop Girton High School has been so much a part of both my professional and my personal life. But at the same time, it makes it an easy question to answer because of that. BG has been such a part of both my professional and my personal life. I can almost barely remember not being involved with BG. When I was in high school, I cheered for the green and gold, and then a few years later was honored to be invited to become a member of the Bishop Girton faculty. Now, nearly 30 years later, and I have loved every minute of the experiences offered to me. I'm also a proud mother of 3 Bishop Girton graduates. My husband is a BG grad. My nieces are Bishop Girton grads. I have a brother who's a BG grad, and many, many other cousins who have come through the halls here at BG. Family parties, reunions, and gatherings, as you can imagine, eventually lead to cardinal conversations. And the kids all talk about how grateful they are for the opportunities that were afforded to them, the experiences that they had, and treasured friendships which still last today. But inevitably, they end up talking about their teachers and staff who inspired them to be the very best versions of themselves and motivated them and celebrated together all the good times and loved them through the tough times. They're all almost working adults now and are trying to model the exact same compassion, empathy, and high expectations by being tolerant, relationship-building members of their team. They are people who want to serve and understand the importance and the idea of having a servant's heart, making the world around them just a little bit better. So Bishop Girton High School gave my family and me the skills, courage, and desire to transform for the better the world in which we live. I'm sure the same will be true for yours.
Thank you all for your time. Go Cardinals!